Hey everybody, Rob Smith here, and I'm delighted to be joined with Michael Blair ahead of his fight at Cage Warriors Glasgow. Michael, how are we doing?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. So let's talk about this fight. I'm not even going to attempt to announce your opponent's name because I
Mhm.
will butcher it. I'm just going to call it Emil. Emil, sorry. I've already started. So, so we'll start with Emil. So talking about this matchup, do you have you done much research into him? What do you make of his style? How do you think you match up with him?
I'm the same as you. To be fair, I don't even know how to go about pronouncing his second name. If you've got an X in your name, I'm just going to,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, call me your man. Um, no, I've watched a couple of his fights. I think he's a really good opponent. I think he's quite well rounded. Seems to be a little bit more grappling heavy. I think that's where he would like to take the fight, but that suits me. I've not fought anyone with this kind of style in a little while. Maybe fought one or two people at amateur. But professionally, anyway, I've not had anyone who's like really grappling heavy, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing how it goes and some of the scrambles we got up to.
So would you say that during this camp you have put a bit more focus on the grappling because I feel like obviously you'll have trained everywhere as every fighter does, but I guess I guess it's probably been nice for yourself thinking, okay, I can kind of focus a bit more on grappling because like you say, it must be strange in a way not having sort of having that style, but since amateurs, that's not really usually the case. There seems to be a lot of grapple heavy fighters in sort of modern sport. So I guess what's training been like focusing more on grappling for yourself?
Yeah, like you said, always focusing on a little bit of everything, but there's definitely been a little bit more of a focus on certain aspects. Seems like a really good wrestler in particular, so like obviously been drawn at wrestling as always, but it's more the past couple of fights anyway. I felt I've had the wrestling advantage. To be fair, I might still do in this one. I'm not putting anything um, away from like wrestling him. But I know that he would try to take me down, so it's just working takedown defense stuff like that, and making sure we get into the certain positions we want to avoid, certain positions we want to we're happy in. So yeah, it's been quite interesting, a wee bit different from some of the other ones, but it's been good fun regardless.
And do you do much like tapes do you onto your opponents, or is that something you leave up to your coaches?
Normally just leave it up to the coaches. I'll watch a little bit when I first find out about who I'm fighting, just to get a kind of quick look, just a general outlook at what they do. I'll probably watch maybe the start of next week just to get a little weekend of refresher. But I don't overly analyse, don't go too in depth with it. Mainly because the past couple years it's always been a nightmare trying to get opponents. Obviously, at Cage Warriors, people are more likely to stay in once a fight gets announced, but I've done it before where you start studying someone and then you're fighting a 5'8" grappler and then you get a 6'3" striker and you're like, all right, well, brilliant. Done all this analysis and it's wasted now. So, no, but obviously he'll be hanging about, he'll be what to fight. But I'll have maybe another wee refresher next week and see what he's up to.
I think that's quite an interesting point that you make because you hear it all the time, especially in like I feel like as of late, not just in cage warriors, but in lots of promotions, there does seem to be a lot of last minute changes and things like that, people dropping out, missing weight, all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
And I feel like I guess it's more important in a way. Obviously, I can't really talk from my experience, but I guess I think it's always good to just kind of focus more on your own game than do putting too much thought into your opponent. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you start focusing on the other person, you first off, like you kind of forget we got you to the dance, so to speak. So there's certain elements of your game you start to neglect, um, and then you obviously you want to whatever they're good at, you want to kind of make sure you're sharp, you're on point with that stuff. But you also want to focus on your strengths and make sure you're not just playing into whatever they do. So let's say the person's a really good jiu-jitsu guy on bottom. You don't want to, like sometimes you want to maybe practice your boxing more. Just don't get into that spot with them rather than just drill in that position. Yeah, I think people can get too caught up on it a lot of times.
And it's this is a big fight for yourself because not just because obviously you're working your way up the division, but Cage Warriors are back in Scotland. If people couldn't already tell from your accent, you are very much Scottish. And so talk to me about what was that like for you when you got the call? Obviously you probably thought, being from Scotland, being a Cage Warriors staple, you probably thought, okay, there's a good chance I'm gonna be on this card. However, what was your immediate reaction when Cage Warriors called you and said, like, Michael, we've got you a fight in Glasgow?
Yeah, you're always buzzing. It's always great to fight at home. It's good to fight away. To be fair, last one was in Newcastle. That was great fun as well. But there's something extra special fighting just maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes up the road for me. A lot less travel, a lot less messing about, all that stuff. Can sleep in your own bed. Yeah, just excitement really. The last couple of shows have been great. Good atmosphere. I think this one will be probably hopefully the best yet. Some cracking fights. I think there's still a few to get announced. So I just can't wait. Excited.
And what's that like for yourself preparing for a fight? I guess like in fight week and stuff with like weight cutting and things, not having to worry about the travel because I can imagine, say if a fight was in London, for example, even Newcastle's about a 3.5 hour drive. It's not close. Because is it nice not knowing that you think, right, okay, all I've got to do is just drive 20 minutes, that's it.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of calm you down a little bit. Like you've just not got that added pressure of right. We need to organise this, and you're trying to get trains or people are driving, and you're trying to organise this stuff and packing suitcases and stuff like that, and the extra wee things. You're having to do your washing. You've not got your washing done, then you're like running a bit, just wee stupid stuff. And how are you going to cook? Like that sounds such a daft like problem, but every fighter's like, oh fuck, what am I going to? You've made weight. I can't just go and have like a KFC. Right? What restaurants are near the hotel? What can I eat here? What am I going to have for my breakfast? Blah blah blah. All that stuff. When it's at home, it's just like running the mill day to day. Just whatever you normally do. So it definitely takes some of the stress away.
And you already mentioned it, but we'll touch on that last fight in Newcastle. Unbelievable scrap against a very tough fighter in Grant Ogborn. I was quite gutted because I was doing media at that show and I just missed you because I got caught in the crowd with the backups and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I've just missed him. So, but
hmm
talking about that fight with Grant because it was an absolute war while it lasted. Against, like I said, Grant's a very tough opponent, and I think that was almost like a statement victory from yourself.
hmm Yeah, yeah, he's definitely he's a very good opponent. He was up training for a couple of weeks a couple of weeks ago. He was up there for a couple of days, getting some rounds in, get some training with him. Yeah, we knew he was good. Just a couple of wee positions I knew I could do well in. Like you said, tough fight back and forth. He had some good positions, some good spots. I had the same, and then I was really happy to finally get a finish on Cage Warriors. I think they just kind of getting that first one out the way that was a nice wee kind of bonus, and I think well, that's I'm always chasing them anyway, but over the line with that one, so I think that's try and rack them up now.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because when I speak to a few other fighters, they kind of say the same things when especially when they get the first finish. It's like when you're fighting, it's almost like having that sort of little bit of extra added pressure, thinking, right, okay, I want to make a statement here. I want to get a finish. So I guess from yourself, like I said, was it sort of a relief in a way? Obviously, the win is the most important thing, but it's almost like a little bit sweet getting that finish, I guess.
Oh, definitely. It's icing on top. Do you know what I mean? Cherry on the cake, so to speak. Um, like I said, winning, getting your hand raised, number one, whatever it takes. 99% of fighters are willing to do it, especially at this level. But getting that finish, it just takes away that extra stress. You're also not having to put in as much. Well, you're not in there for the full time as well. So if you can get out there in 8 minutes rather than 15, I'll take that all day. No one wants a 15-minute fight. Don't care what they say. You do it once or twice, and you're like, right, cool, that's enough. I've put my time in there. So now I've had, what I'm saying, for a couple of fights there, I had some 15-minute wars, some longer fights. I'm happy to get in and out now, so that's what I'm looking for this one.
And would you say do you see a finish probably, you said grapple heavy, probably looking for a submission?
I think so. I think we could be stand. I could get this completely wrong, and we could just be standing and boxing each other. I wouldn't put that past it as well. Um, but yeah, I think similar to this last one, similar to the last fight, just saying to grind away on him for a couple of rounds, and I think I'll get a stoppage here eventually.
It's funny you mention that. I do think that is kind of is the case. You do see it where you put two high level grapplers in there, it ends up being a striking match. Like I use the example of Colby versus Usman,
Yeah.
two elite level wrestlers, and end up being just striking battles because it's like you almost have that sort of respect too much for each other in the sort of grappling
Mhm.
department. You think, right, okay, and then it ends up just being a striking match. So I think either way, the fans are in for a good fight. I guess that's not the case, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I was gutted that fight. I was really looking forward to all the wrestling scrambles and two Division One high level wrestlers anyway. And then they just stand and box with each other. But yeah, for this one, I think wherever it goes, it'll be exciting regardless. I don't think either of us are kind of standing back, just point fighting. Both of us are going to go out there try and get a kind of statement win. I think it'll have a bit of everything though. I think it'll be on the feet. I think it'll be grappling. I think it'll be against the cage. So I think it'll be a full kind of well-rounded MMA contest.
And one thing I'm asking sort of every fighter who I've interviewed for this card is I want to talk about visualization in MMA. Some fighters say that they do a lot of it, some fighters don't. I want to see where your head lies with visualization because I was speaking to Josh Abraham literally last night and he was saying that he does quite a lot of visualization. He likes really like, think about where the fight will go and he sort of visualizes finishes in his head. Is that something that you do at all?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I don't know if I consciously take time out my day to do it, if that makes sense. Just when I've got a bit of free time, if I'm sitting about, I kind of think about certain aspects of the fight. I've always quite liked. I heard who did I hear talk about it? Was it Mighty Mouse maybe? Like worst case scenario kind of stuff, and then I'll just run through right. How do we like kind of get through that? So you taking down your own submission, right? How right? Okay, just kind of get used to this feeling. We hip out, we protect the neck, we walk back up. Okay, we're tired, we just move about, we keep our hands up, just so that when you're in there, it's not a foreign feeling. Like you have experienced it. Um, Even up to just imagine walking into the cage again, walking through the crowd, seeing your opponent, just that extra couple seconds of your day, just to kind of feel quite present in it. And it definitely does help. I do think it helps with performance, just calm you down a little bit. And there's just that part of you that's like, right, cool, we've been here, we've done this. This is just one more time.
And as you make the walk into Cage Warriors again, like I said, this isn't your debut or anything like that. What are the sort of nerves from yourself like leading up to fight night? Are they changed or are they gotten less? Have they gotten more? Because you hear fighters on different sides. What are nerves like for you, like fight week and fight night?
Fight week, I'm fine to be honest with you. You get a couple wee like butterflies here and there as it gets closer. Fight The worst part's fight day. See when you're just sitting about and you're like, right, I can't really do it, and you're sitting watch the tail and you're like, right, I'm going to fight some guy in 7 hours. You're like, right, what do you do to like preoccupy your time because you're not like thinking about anything else. When you're in the back, once you're around all the guys, it's not too bad. You get in there, you just have a conversation. You're all in the same boat. Um, the more I've been doing it, the kind of easier it's got. You start to something I tell some of the younger guys as well. Like your emotions are always different. Sometimes you're like really up for it. Sometimes you're like I can't be fucked with this at all. Sometimes you're somewhere in the middle. You go through wee spells, but regardless of how you feel, when you go out there, you're going to perform the same. Someone punches you in the face, you're going to have like you're going to resort back to your training. You're going to move your head, you're going to move your feet. You don't go like if I was dead up for this, I would have maybe had a different reaction. So you fall back on your training no matter how you feel. But as I've got older and more experienced, it has become a little bit easier.
And where do you think a win against? I'm going to really try this again. Ermil. Where do you think a win
Mhm.
against Ermil puts you in the division?
Yeah, kind of climbing up the ladder. I had a weekend of setback against the Poiron, the French boy, when I got stopped by a cut. I think that kind of halted a little bit of momentum. Kind of got that back on track for the last fight. So I think it's just keeping this ball rolling. Hopefully get some more big names. Uh, Fight on some big cards as well. And yeah, just try and get a weekend of streak going. Stay busy.
And for Cage Warriors fans who may not have seen you fight before, what can they expect from you on fight night?
Uh, Coming forward, coming for the finisher full time. Um, Taking chances. Some of my coaches, my training partners, aren't too fond of it, but the past couple of fights have been wars. Um, so yeah, wherever it goes, I'm comfortable. Wherever it goes, I'm looking for a finish, and I'm there to push the pace and try and get the other guy out there.
I guess like you mentioned earlier, you're kind of sick of having these wars now. It'd be nice, get a quick night, go get some scran. What is your sort of like ideal post fight meal?
For the past couple of weeks, I've been desperate for a pizza. Just I don't care where it's from, if it's Domino's pizza, the Indians, whatever. I'm desperate for a pizza. Yeah, so I think that'll be by the time I'm finished fighting and I got up the road, all the good places are closed. So you get like I'll have to wait until the Sunday. So we end up with like a McDonald's or something. But that's Sunday night. I'll be getting myself some abnormally large pizza.
What's your go-to toppings?
I'm a simple man. I just like pepperoni. I don't like too much on it. I'm easy going. So I pepperoni for me.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm kind of the same. I'm pepperoni. I like peppers. Like
Yeah,
I don't go too sort of extravagant. I'm quite plain Jane.
yeah. I'm the exact same. I think when you start going too mental with it, it's a bit overkill and you stop enjoying it after a while. So I nice and simple. That'll
I
do
think
me.
that's how it should be, mate. That's how it should be. I think, like you said, you don't need overcomplicated pizzas.
Mhm.
Pizza's a simple food. That's how it's meant to be. That's how the Italians intended it to be.
Yeah, too right.
And last one for this stage of the interview. If you were doing sort of a face-to-face interview with a meal, what would you say to him right now?
Just hope that his training camps went well, that he's healthy, his weight cut's good. I kind of want the best version of him. Uh, I nothing we say beforehand's going to change how the fight goes, in my opinion. So just hope he's prepared, hope he's feeling good, and I will put on a show on the 25th.
Well, Michael, I want to thank you for your time, mate. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you, and I'll see you on fight night.
Right, mate. See you then.